top here, but the properties are going to be the ones we've been using for the last few days, which is like that their addition, their multiplication, subtraction, division, and then the numbers in front can be exponents. So we're going to use those three. But in general, kind of the order that you want to do this is the first thing that you normally want to do is if there's numbers in front, so like here and here, is take those up as the exponents first. So generally, I would say that's the first thing you want to do. You want to rewrite numbers in front as exponents. Generally, your first thing that you're going to want to do in all of these. Anytime there's a number in front of the log, we'll write it up as an exponent. And I actually just normally do that within the problem. And then second thing we're going to do is try to condense it as much as we can. So just remember, if it's addition, so addition is going to be multiplication. And subtraction is division. So like I'll just say subtraction is division. In other words, just the bottom of the fraction. And this multiplication, you could also just coming that it's always going to be the top. Just the top of the fraction. If it is a fraction, that'll always be at the top. And if it's division, it just always goes to the bottom. And then after we've done that, we're just going to try to simplify as much as we can. It's not always obvious how far you have to simplify, so just do your best to simplify as much as you can. But some of these can be a bit challenging as we go through, and then the problems you're going to do can be a little bit challenging as well. So sometimes it's hard to tell how far you have to simplify when it's going to. All right, so let's try these. We're going to do these 6 problems together. So the first one, the first thing we're going to do is take that number in front, write it as an exponent. And I like to even just write it up here. You can even just like scratch it out. You know it's going to go up there. And then these are all adding, so that means we're going to switch to all multiplication. So it's going to be a log. And there's no subtraction, so we're not going to have to worry about a fraction here. It's just going to be a log, and then it's really just 4 times x cubed times y. And you don't even have to write the time symbols if you don't want to. I would just rewrite it then as log of 4x cubed y. And that's our answer. It should be in parentheses. It's just good notation to write in parentheses. If there's more than one term, it should be written in parentheses. Same with the next one, number 10 there. First thing you're going to do is just write this one up as the exponent. You can go up there. Just get rid of that. Now with this one, anytime you see an addition or a positive, so the first term is positive, it's going to be in the top of the fraction, and these two are going to go to the bottom. They all have the same base, which will be the case for all of them. They all have the same base. So these two are addition, they're positive, so they go to the top. And then the other two are negative, so they're going to go in the bottom. So we got a y in the bottom, and it's really a times 4. Still multiplication, but it's just in the bottom of the fraction. So you just remember positive in the top, negative in the bottom. And then you always want to write the number in front of the variable. So we'll just write this as log 2x cubed over 4y. Now this one can simplify a little bit. This last one, there's nothing here else to do. This one we could simplify. What could we do to make this a little simpler? We would simplify that fraction. Okay?
Make it x cubed over 2y.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, it's 2/4 is the same as 1/2, right? So this is x cubed over 2y. So you want to reduce any fractions you can. If there's stuff to cancel out, we want to cancel it out. Okay. Let's try number 11. First thing to check is if there's any numbers that you can move up, which there is one here, this 1/2. We can take up to this here. All right, now let's just start writing them out. Anything with a positive goes to the top, anything with a negative to the bottom. Log 2, 9 is at the top, minus, so the y will go to the bottom. Another plus, so that's going to be x to the 1/2. And then minus, so that'll go to the bottom, times 3. It'll be the same thing as saying 3y. All right, and then let's see if there's anything we can do to simplify this. Log 2. What could we simplify this?
3x to 3y.
Oh, sorry, that one already. That should be a half. So I don't know why. I think I probably said sloppy writing. Yeah, so it would just be 3 because 9 over 3 would just be 3, right? So 3x to the 1/2 here, over y. It's 9 over 3. So that's 3. You could also write the x to the 1/2 if you want to just write it as the square root of x. This is okay, but if you want to do it in root form, the same thing as saying 3 times the square root of x over y. All right, very good. Now the next one's just a little bit different because it's got those parentheses here. So just kind of like with PEMDAS where if we got parentheses, we want to tackle that first. That's what we actually want to do here as well. You can go ahead and write this up here if you want to. And go from there. But before we try to combine everything, we want to combine the stuff in the parentheses there first. And then we'll take on that other part. So this, same base, so it will just become x times 3. So the natural log of will just be 3x. X times 3, 3. And that's going to be squared. So, right there. And then minus, now do 3, which does look at this up, right? Natural log of y cubed. And then we can combine those together. So now we've got a division. It'll be the natural log. Now this whole thing has to stay together because it's all squared. So it'll be 3x squared over y cubed. So minus goes to the bottom. And you could actually do a little bit more to this one, simplify. What could you do to make this just a little simpler? You just square 3x squared, square that, right? We didn't do this, okay. So sometimes it's kind of hard to know exactly how to simplify it, but this would just be a little simpler, so as 9x squared, right? Square root of 3 is 30x. Just less parentheses that way. Now, make sure you note that this whole thing is squared, okay? Not just the x or just the 3, it's the whole thing squared. So that's why you got to square both. Square 3 is 9, square x is x. That's where those parentheses come into play. And the last two here. So all of this is in parentheses, which means this 1/2 gets applied to everything all the way out here. Now let's combine as much as we can in parentheses. All of this, and within here, Also, this one has a 3, so it goes up. A little confusing here. Let's try to combine all that. Alright, so then we get the natural log of anything with a positive goes in the top. So 8x squared on the top, because it's positive. On the bottom, we got a 4. Here we got an x cubed. And this is also on the bottom, so it's y. And this will all be to the 1/2 power. Right, and then how can we simplify that inside there?
The square root is like,
Okay, so make that a square root. That works. And what else could we do with inside of here? How about like 8/4? Same as 2, right? So we just put a 2 on top. All right, and then look, we got 2 x's on top and 3 on the bottom. So these can cancel with most of those, and that would just change to a 1 now, right? So we have no x's left on top. We got 4. Sorry, 4 is gone. 8/4 is 2. And we just got 1 x left on the bottom and a y left on the bottom. So it's just the square root of 2xy. And this would be our final answer. So if you're a little confused on the simplifying, like I said, it's not always maybe as clear how far you should go. Do your best on that. We'll work through it. All right, last one here. First thing would be to take this one up, squared. Now all of these are adding or subtracting the inside, so you can't do anything with the inside. But we know that anything with a positive goes in the top. With the natural log of x plus 3 squared. So plus, so it's a new multiplication. X minus 3. So this one's going to go to the bottom. X squared minus 9. There's one very similar to this on the problems that you guys are going to do. You can simplify this some more. To do that, you're going to need to factor this bottom. This is called a difference of squares. You could recognize this from algebra 2, difference of squares. So a squared thing minus another squared thing. The squared part of this is 3. So it's like x squared minus 3 squared. Think of it that way. Right? So then when you factor this thing, it factors into x plus 3 and x minus 3. Yeah, because the outers multiply give you -9, the inners will cancel. Make sense? So that's what we're going to do, and yours is very similar to that. What I'm going to do. So this then will be x plus 3 squared times x minus 3 over x plus 3 times x minus 3. And then we'll definitely get some cancellations there. Because x minus 3 is both in the top and the bottom. And then the top has an x plus 3, the bottom does. So this will cancel out with one of those. So then all we're left with then is the natural log of x plus 3. Everything else canceled. Right, to practice this, I've got some problems that I want you to do. You might struggle with them a little bit, which is okay. Just make sure you ask if you're struggling a little bit. And I'm going to give you a lot of class period to work on it, so you should be able to ask for help. The problems are in your book. Now, just take a look at it real quick here. So you're going to do first problems 57 to 62. And then they get a little bit too hard after that, so I didn't really want to go beyond that because it's even a little bit more confusing. But you're gonna do 57 to 62. That's gonna be where you're combining them. So like bring them up, combine them together, try to cancel if you can. And then I've got a few more of the expanding ones, which will be able to be simplified. So then after that, you're going to do 37 to 44. And these are ones where you're going to expand them. So you're going to do like this one that's log 5, 25 plus log 5x. And try to simplify those as much as you can as well. So I would start with the bottom section. That's just what we just did. We're going to try to condense it. And then after that, you're going to do the other section where you're going to be expanding them and try to simplify as much as you can on both of these.